So way back in 1922, will today mark the end of an era. At 5:30 this afternoon, WNBC signing off forever. It will become WFAN, All Sports Radio. Talent, a respected newsroom, wonderful colleagues. And to all of them, I wish goodbye, good luck, and God bless. And oh yeah, thanks for the memories. And now for the last time with pride, I say, that's what's happening. I'm Judy DeAngelis, WNBC News.
WNBC remembers 66 years of New York's most memorable radio.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
66 years ago, the word radio was not far from being a household name. Just a few years earlier, a young inventor named Marconi discovered a method of transmission via a spark gap generator. Well, as crude as it was, it laid the foundation for the future in a medium known as broadcasting. In the spring of 1922, the American Telephone and Telegraph Company realized a possible future in this medium and signed on an experimental station, W2XY. A short 4 months later, after granting an approval for a limited commercial license, the call letters changed to WBAY, and finally, to the mighty 500-watt WEAF. This was the beginning of WNBC.
This is radio station WEAF. This is the world's first toll broadcasting station, with studios located at 24 Walker Street in New York City. Heretofore, broadcasting has been gratis to all. Now, due to the great demand by those who wish to use the airwaves for goodwill purpose, and with only one wavelength available, 360 meters, we are offering toll broadcasting service. You're now about to hear some Victor phonograph records.
And with that, the pioneers of broadcasting set the foundation for the future.
WNBC 66 WNBC.
You know, the people who have worked at WNBC is a who's who of broadcasting, and that who's who is, to some extent, with us right now. Cousin Brucie is here, Bruce Morrow, responsible for both evenings and then middays here at WNBC. Ted Brown worked afternoon drive here at WNBC, and I'm honored to hold down, or have held down until today, the slot that Ted Brown once held down at this radio station.
Doing a good job, too.
Thank you, even though you said today's my best show ever. But, you know...
No.
But I'll take that, because you can't do better than people like you and Brucie. Mike Harrison is here, who is a radio analyst and consultant, and giving us kind of an overview. Judy DeAngelis, of course, is joining us. Bruce Leonard, we finally, you used to have engineers back. We don't. I do my own control board now, but they gave me Bruce Leonard here today, finally. It took to the last day to get this gift from management. We have on the phone Mark Bench, who is general manager of WNSR. Hi, Mark. Is Mark here? Oh, I have to do this. Wait a second. Hi, Mark.
Yes. How are you?
Mark Bench is general manager of WNSR. I've come up with a new format, soft talk.
I love it.
Yeah. How are you doing, Mark? It's nice of you to call today.
Well, thank you. We've been, all of us have been over here listening to the radio, and guess which station? Yours today. And we've really enjoyed the recap special.
Yeah, well, certainly Dale Parsons did and Jim Collins and Dan Taylor did a wonderful job putting together the stuff that comes out of the news, those vignettes.
Yeah.
And your station's doing great.
Oh, we're having fun. We're having fun.
So when are you going out of business?
We did that once, you'll recall.
Right.
Our call letters showed up in Florida once, and I don't know where they are now, our old ones.
Mark, if you're doing so well, how come
we're going to miss your legendary call letters and a great music competitor.
All right. So, well, it's nice of you to call, and, of course, Mark's station WNSR, deceased or older, is the demographics, but...
Thanks a lot.
So that's one station I will not be resurfacing on, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, we're going to miss you a whole lot, and it's been great listening to the special.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. Mark Bench with WNSR Radio here in New York. And it's nice, radio is really a community. And Ted Brown from WNEW and Joe McCoy and Brucie from WCBS FM. It used to be in the old days, you couldn't mention the call letters of another radio station, right?
Right. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But now, it's a family.
It is,
right.
Especially in this city. We talk about Ted. Ted will talk about us. We mention Alan all the time. We mention all the other call letters. I wish one thing, though, the way you're handling this today, we're having this sort of a bittersweet situation here. And what you're doing here the way you're making me feel as if we're never going to hear from you again, and that's not true.
I'm not doing that.
There's no way, because I know, look, we have Mark listening out there. There's every GM within hundreds of miles of this radio station listens to it. Every program director, they're listening right now, and the wheels are starting to turn. And there's no way that Alan Colmes will be off the air in this area.
That's right.
We want you here. You are part of New York City, and you belong here.
Well, thank you very much. Let me give the number out then.
No, really. What you've got to do, if you don't happen to, lock in somewhere, just say, well, it just wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah, right. The business has really changed.
It wasn't fun anymore, or I'd rather spend some more time with my family.
And that's why I've chosen dry goods, because I felt that... Brucie's got a station for you, don't you, Bruce?
Sure. I just happen to have the contract.
We have so many great radio personalities here today and joining us by phone, and I think we have not spent enough time talking to the listeners, the people who are part of WNBC, the most important part, the people who supported the station by writing things in Arbitron books. Let's see who's on it. Let's just take some random phone calls. WNBC, hello.
Yes.
Hi.
I want to talk to Alan Colmes.
You're on the air. Go ahead. Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
Listen, I want to say I enjoyed your show.
Thank you.
And I want to find out, do you have any speculations where you might be going?
Yes, I'll be getting coffee for Ted Brown starting on Monday morning.
Decaffeinated, please.
Right, thank you very much. WNBC. Yes.
WNBC?
So far. Hurry up.
There's no need to hurry.
You just got in under the wire, yeah.
This is Jay Smilkstone from Radio Parts House in Mount Kisco, New York.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to say that there are a lot of people in rural areas who listen to music on AM who can't get satisfactory FM.
I always knew we should have done a farm report here. And, well, Brucie, I know, and Mike Harrison have very strong feelings about AM radio. Mike is in the AM radio business. And AM radio, its demise is greatly exaggerated, isn't it?
I think its demise is exciting. I think it's going to be a whole exciting new kind of radio on AM. What do you think, Brucie?
Absolutely. Look, we own 4 AM radio stations and 4 FM radio stations. Our AM radios were as successful, if not more successful, than the FM. And what Mike just said is that depending on the market, AM radio has been forced into a certain category to produce aesthetic, creative broadcasting. And wherever you go in this country, FM is doing extremely well. Right? But AM radio, if you go into AM radio, you can find very interesting things there in different markets that are very exciting.
And listeners like this in rural areas get the blanket coverage that AM gives and FM can't.
This program now, as you well know, every time we do this show, and I've been on this show many times with you, I get calls from Maine, I get calls from Canada. They hear us all over the place. It's amazing.
Thank you for calling WNBC.
Hello, Alan.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Hello to all your guests. I've listened to all of them over the years on NBC. This is a sad day for me, too. I've listened to you from the first day you came to NBC every day at 3 in my office, and I'm going to go through withdrawals when I don't have you on at 3 o'clock. And I've called you many times to annoy you, and many times just to hear myself on the radio in different characters and all, and I've had a lot of fun listening to you. I know I'll hear from you again in the New York market.
Thank you very much. Even people who've hated me have been very kind the last couple of days. Let's say hello on the phones to Bob Pittman. Bob Pittman, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not applauding.
How are you?
Hi, Bob.
Pittman.
How are you, Bob?
Good.
Bob, of course, was program director here at WNBC, and we keep mentioning that now, of course, he runs Quantum Communications. He went to MTV, founded MTV, and he is now the chief honcho at the Morton Downey Jr. show. It was under your tutelage that this became WNBC, right, Bob?
That's it. It's sort of funny to see it going away since that was such the kingpin station of the country for such a long period of time.
How did this whole WNBC, with the emphasis on the N?
Well, when I came in, we changed the format, went after WABC, and, if you say WABC and WNBC, you don't have too many letters difference. So I think it probably started with a couple of the jocks pushing the N, and everybody picked up on it, and away it went.
Ted Brown objects to the word jock.
Yeah, I never liked you, Bob, and I still don't like you.
Really?
I'm kidding.
enjoying a very
just
big
kidding.
club.
And Bob, the day you took me to lunch to tell me that I think younger people should take my position, you never picked up the tab, Bob.
You know
owe
what?
me
And now I'm one of those
$68.
older guys, Brucie.
WNBC.
It's very depressing, I have to tell you.
Yeah, Bob Pittman's probably as old as you were the day he took you to lunch. So.
No, he was younger.
I loved when he started. He did, a non-commercial hour on AM, which was unusual at the time. I don't remember any AM stations doing that.
Because we were carrying, what, 18
You remember
to 20,
that,
right?
Bob?
Of course, we couldn't sell any commercials at the time, so it was an easy decision to make.
But I know you did that, too, when you came over.
No, we had a good time, and that was back in the era when you still could get a lot of music listeners on AM, and it's sort of a shame that all the AM stations are giving up on music around the country.
Bob, of all your accomplishments here at WNBC, and you were a very celebrated programming executive, still are, but of course in radio those days, what's your your proudest accomplishment?
Proudest accomplishment? Probably rehabilitating Don Imus, bringing him back from Cleveland.
Yeah. We have one of the other personalities who you work with, Johnny Dark, on the other line. Hi, Johnny.
Hello.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Bob Pittman is on the other line.
You're kidding. Johnny Dark, this is the reunion. This is your life, Johnny Dark. I didn't know that you could tie the phones together like that.
Well, we did something...
We're off the radio, probably. But
No, we're on the radio.
Together.
We're on the radio. I'm sure that Bruce Leonard did something illegal to get us to do this.
This is on the radio?
Yeah.
This is called conferencing calls.
Amazing.
In case you haven't been back to AM too.
Ted Brown, of course, knew Alexander Graham Bell and knows all the terminology.
That's right. That's right.
So you hired Johnny Dark, right, Bob?
I did. Johnny Dark I'd known for a long time. As you were talking earlier today about the community of radio, it's a very small business, even though it's a national business.
Johnny, nice of you to speak to us for a couple of seconds here on this final day.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, how ridiculous is this?
Well,
I mean,
I think the operative word is very.
What kind of a company would give up the calls WNBC?
I don't know.
They need a checkup from the neck up, don't they? As Imus would say.
Johnny, thank you very much. Thank you for... Which line do we have Johnny on? Which line do we have Bob on? 7645. Is Bob? Is Johnny. Johnny, let me thank you. Bob, you are on to bigger and better things. You are now doing the Morton Downey Jr. show.
Well, I don't know. It's different things. Radio is a lot of fun. I hate to say that anything I'm doing is bigger or better than that.
So you sometimes miss your radio days. You get nostalgic
I love radio.
about it?
I started radio at age 15, so it got me out of Mississippi. Everybody needs a ticket out of a place like that, and radio provided it for me.
I see. Well, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to join us and reminisce.
Well, good luck with your future, too.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Hey, Bob?
Yes?
This is Cousin Brucie. Bob, let's have lunch sometime.
You bet.
Bob, what channel is Downey on?
What?
What channel are you on in the New York? Channel 9, right?
Channel 9.
I think I'm buying it, Bob. Let's have lunch. Let's have lunch, Bobby.
Bye, and I'll eat.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bob Pittman, ladies and gentlemen. And
I think we got to give a little bit of applause to Bruce here. That was pretty good. That was well done, Bruce.
you ever feel that there's justice in the universe and you have just gotten yours?
No, you know something, I'll tell you, and I know he's listening now. At the time, when we should let everybody know what happened. When I was on NBC, Bob Pittman came in, and he was a very fresh young kid who did not understand the market, which I still believe, as he grew into the market, he started to understand it way after he made a few mistakes. I was one of them. And he told me one day at lunch, which I paid for, that I believe that I should give the younger guys, it's in my book, a shot to do this thing, that I don't need this anymore. And I looked at this guy and I'm saying, this young kid going to tell you, the heck with it, I left. All right? Teddy knows this story. And I left the thing. I think that was a very big mistake, and I was very angry in those days about that. But I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here right now,
and he's still angry.
No, I'm not. I think Bob is grown very beautifully. He's doing what he wants to do now, and I think he's a very talented guy.
And getting a little older.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break and come back with what a day and what a group of people we have in the studio. Cousin Brucie is here, Joe McCoy from WCBS-FM. Ted Brown is here. Mitch Levy has come down to say...
the world's youngest DJ. Do you know that? Right. WINS, when we first started, he was called the world's youngest DJ. That's right. When I first started WINS, that's right.
I introduced you on your first
That's
day.
right.
We'll continue in a moment on WNBC.
Jimmy Breslin switched to Newsday because of the paper's great city and borough coverage and for outstanding writers like Murray Kempton.
Murray Kempton has been a hero of mine for a long, long time and will continue to be. Murray Kempton put more honor and more of the English language into newspapers than anyone in my business. He's probably the most copied columnist of my time. Everybody steals from Kempton.
Even you, Jimmy?
Guilty. What, are you kidding?
Jimmy Breslin switched to New York Newsday. How about you?
British Airways wants me to tell all you globe-trotting Americans that it's high time to take off on one of their superb European holidays. Now 10% off for a limited time. What a perfectly splendid offer, I said. The British Isles wreathed in golden harvest light. Europe replete with echoes of the ancients. Yes, charming, they said, but what in fact we've got to communicate is that British Airways has hundreds of flexible European land arrangements at 10% off. London, Paris, Dublin, Rome, 10% off. Theatres, hotels, transport, 10% off. Well, I'm pleased to report that we've reached a compromise. For hard facts and figures on British Airways holidays at 10% off, call your travel agent or 1-800-876-2200 right now. However, for 10% off a radiant European sojourn, call 1-800-876-2200 at a quiet moment when inspiration tugs at your sleeve, and not a moment sooner. You must book and pay for your holiday by October 31st. Other significant restrictions apply.
Visit most luxury automobile dealerships, and you're likely to hear a lot of talk about things like bloodlines and image and noble traditions. But visit an Acura dealership, and you'll hear about a tradition we consider to be more meaningful, a tradition of satisfaction. For the second year in a row, Acura has been named #1 in customer satisfaction by the J.D. Power & Associates CSI survey, which measures customer satisfaction with product quality and dealer service. Not #1 for luxury cars or imports, #1 among all automakers, period. Again, which means that people aren't only impressed with the image surrounding Acura, they're impressed with the cars themselves. Which brings up an important point. When you're shopping for cars and listening to the people who sell them, don't forget to listen to the people who drive them. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
RNs, LPNs, physical therapists, lab technicians, dental assistants, nutritionists, pharmacists, x-ray technicians.
The Daily News has so many jobs in the healthcare field, I found exactly what I was looking for.
If you're looking for a new job or a new career, whether it's in healthcare, banking, retail, or another field, you'll find the job you're looking for every day in the New York Daily News Classified section, with more job opportunities in more fields than ever before. And on Sunday and Monday, a special pull-out section.
I was just checking the Daily News to find out what's happening in my profession, and this great job in sales almost jumped off the page.
The bigger-than-ever Daily News Classified section. 7 days a week, it's the first place to turn to find pages and pages of the best jobs in the business.
Rick Cimino, why do you invest with Charles Schwab?
Well, back in 1984, the market fell and the prices went down on my stocks, and sure, it was all on paper, but it scared me. And so I came away convinced that I could do better making my own decisions. So I'd heard all those commercials about Charles Schwab, and I decided to call to find out what it was all about. Well, for 3 years, I've been trading with Schwab and saving about 50% on commissions compared to what I paid my full commission broker. Yeah, Schwab saved me hundreds of dollars. So now the market's down again, and a lot of my friends are taking a hard look at the commissions they're paying their brokers. And when you add up the cost, well, chances are you'll do what I did in '84. Anybody would. Pick up the phone and call Schwab. For my money, if you're going to invest for the long haul, Schwab's the broker to call.
To find out how you can switch to Schwab, call toll-free today, 800-228-5600. That's 800-228-5600. Call Schwab now.
I want to thank all the people who finally decided to buy time on the station. Bond's biggest ever Columbus Day holiday sale is now on with near giveaway prices on famous brand big and tall size sportswear, outerwear, and furnishings. Selections are fantastic. Markdowns are sensational. London Fog all-weather zip-lined raincoats for big and tall men. Single and double-breasted classics selling elsewhere for $200 and more. Now $129 and $149 at Bonds. Magnificent hand-knit designer sweaters, $120 values, now $69. 100% cotton sweaters by Patini worth $60. Half price at $34. Big and tall men will appreciate heavyweight wool blend plaid sport shirts made to sell for $40, on sale for $24. Guy LaRoche reversible parkas with snap-off hoods, $120 value. A sensational buy at $69. Join the thousands of big and tall men who've discovered that Bonds is more in their special size for less than most stores charge for regular sizes. Bonds Columbus Holiday Sale. Hurry in for super sportswear savings. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Perdue.
Everybody's chickens are approved by the government, but only my chickens are approved by me. And my quality standards are higher than the government's. You can find a government grade A tag on a chicken that's loaded with imperfections, but you won't find a Perdue grade A tag on any chicken that's less than perfect. In fact, my graders reject more than 25% of the chickens government graders accept as grade A. That's because the government is out to make sure the chicken you eat is acceptable. I'm out to make sure the chicken you eat is the best chicken you can eat, and that's why it's worth paying a little more for a chicken with a Perdue tag. Besides, if you're not completely satisfied with my chicken, you can always write me, the president of Perdue, and I'll give you your money back. If you buy some government-approved chicken and you're not completely satisfied, who do you write? The president of the United States? What does he know about chickens?
When it comes to chicken, Frank Perdue is even tougher than you are. He has to be because every one of his chickens comes with his money-back guarantee. It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. Perdue, all ShopRite supermarkets have Perdue products on sale. Why not stop in and buy some? It's 3:26 at WNBC. It's kind of a countdown show in a sense. We have just a couple hours left, about 2 hours and 4 minutes, before there is no more WNBC radio, and it's mind-boggling.
Well, the weather may become inclement, and they won't be able to do it, you know?
Yeah, well, you
never know, just like down in Florida.
Either that or maybe we can take pledges or something like that. Yeah, maybe we raise enough money now, we can buy this place.
Get enough phone calls.
Bruce, this could be your next acquisition.
No, hey, listen, let me tell you. Owning radio stations is very tough. No wonder these management people are almost shook. They're crazy people. I never understood why people who own radio stations are so nuts. They're crazies. I mean, Mike will tell you this too. We're crazy. It is nicer to sit here. I go on my radio show on CBS FM with this guy, Joe McCoy. Happiest moments. Like, this is where you belong and this is where you always will be. You know, you don't want to own a radio station. I'll tell you. Get you crazy.
Sullivan talks highly of you.
Selling radio stations is terrific. Owning them is tough.
Ted, you said earlier during the break that you want to hear the way Cousin Brucie originally sounded.
You see, you folks out there, you're not hearing the real Cousin Brucie, not the Cousin Brucie that made him famous. And he's grown and matured, so I guess maybe he doesn't want to do it. But
no, I do want to do it. I can't. My body can't handle it.
Well, I know it can't. I know it can't. And all I want you to do is to just pick up a piece of copy or something and do the original Cousin Brucie.
Now, you want a couple moments? I'll do it. Let's say I'll do one. In those days, we sold, especially on this station, we had a National School of Home Study, a trade, and we had Blementine a go-go. Remember that? It was a blemish remover. And I said something. All right, we'll go take you back now. It's 1900.
I really do it the way you had.
I'll just go 58, 59, all right?
Okay, yeah.
Great golden year. Hi, everybody. Here I am. It's your Cousin Brucie. Hey, listen, I know everybody out there has a lot of pimples, but forget it. Cousin Brucie can get rid of those pimples. Yes, I can. It's a new product called Blementine a Go-Go. And I'll tell you something. If you give me 3 days, I'll get rid of those pimples. Blementine a Go-Go. 3 days, money back, or your pimples back. This is your Cousin Brucie. And now, here's Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
I love it. That destroys your body.
What year did you reach puberty, Bruce?
My last contract with CBS FM.
Actually, you have really molded and refined the act and made it very contemporary for 1988.
Well, you had to. You know, interesting. We had Bob Pittman on a few moments ago. And, you know, he probably had a point in his head. He had a point, and things were changing. The 70s came along. Teddy, we went through this, you know. Yep. Alan was too young. He doesn't remember this thing. And, you know, things were changing. The music was changing. When I first started with guys like Freed, I sounded like the music. The music was there, bum, bum, bum. So my Cousin Brucie thing was, you know, like the music. Here comes 1970, and wow, what happened? Someone pulled the plug. I don't know what to do anymore. I didn't sound like the music. I was not comfortable with the music, right? I had to leave. I couldn't do it. Now we're in the 80s. Everybody loves what Cousin Brucey's playing on my shows. Everybody's, the Dirty Dancers and the La Bambas, and everybody's using our oldies, the so-called oldies. But it's now 1988, so Cousin Brucie now still sounds like the music, but I also have to sound like my audience wants to hear. So it's a very tough thing to do.
In those days, Brucie, you talked to teenagers, though, in those days.
That's right. And they never heard anything like that. I mean, I grew up with Alan Freed. Let's give credit where it's due. Alan Freed and Murray, all right? I mean, I remember Ted Brown. You're a little different today. You were a little more frenetic in those days.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Also worked with my wife then, too.
That's right.
Ted Brown the Redhead.
Yeah. Didn't Bob and Ray do the morning show here?
Did they at one time?
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, they did, because I remember one morning we did our show from our home up in Harrison.
Right.
And one morning I got a call, and it was the engineer, and he said there was a big storm that night and our transmitter blew down. We're not going on the air. And I leaned over to my wife in the next bed, and I said,
could be in the same bed on radio.
Better be careful what you say. Goldman will do a book on you.
Maturity does that to you. And I said, hey, we don't have to go down. We had a basement studio. And I went back to bed. I went to sleep, and I woke up. I said, wait a minute, I didn't hear any wind. I didn't hear anything. What is he talking about? Transmitter. And I had an engineer who came, had a key to the house and came in. So I put my robe on, walked downstairs, and I said, hey, we're not going on. The transmitter blew down. It was Bob and Ray who got my number. And you know how they can sound just like whatever they want to sound like? He sounded like an engineer that I just knew it was an engineer. And he called me an hour before, and they said, well, we'll tell him it blew down and he won't go on. And it really nearly happened. And then I didn't know who did it. I don't know. And later they couldn't stand it, so they called and they told me who it was. It was really brilliant, though. We darn near stayed in bed and didn't come down at all because of Bob and Ray. In fact, Clavin and Finch went on a half hour after Bob and Ray, and I went on after Clavin and Finch. And so I was driving down that time. That was before doing it up in Harris, and I'm listening to Bob and Ray. And Bob and Ray says, hey, your brother-in-law, the one with all the tattoos on his body, is he still married to your sister? And says, no. Why? Well, she divorced him. Why? Well, she'd seen the picture. Okay, so that's one time. Then I switch over after the news and to Clavin and Finch, and Clavin says to Finch, hey, is your brother the one with all the tattoos over his body? Does the same joke. He'd been listening to Bob and Ray too. I got on and said, I'm going to tell you a joke's been told on 2 different stations this morning already. So now I told the third joke. It was much more camaraderie then too, by the way. I'd leave at 9 o'clock and go over and spend the last half hour at NEW with those 2 guys, and so it's a different kind of radio.
Let's go to our telephones now and say hello to Larry King, who has joined us this afternoon.
He's going to be on WNBC, I think.
With us in the studio is Ted Brown is here, and Cousin Brucie is here, and we have just a who's who of radio broadcasting in the studio. And Larry King, I'm glad you could be with us.
Thanks, Alan. I'm glad I could be with you, too. I'm talking to you from Midway Airport in Chicago, where I just was the MC of the Chicago Radio Broadcasters Annual Windy Awards. They just give out their awards for the best in radio. And I wanted to be, in fact, they were talking about this today. Someone said it's at 5, is it 5:30 today?
Yeah. 5:30 is the time that WNBC ceases to exist.
Yeah, someone mentioned, I think the general manager of WBVM, I was talking to him for his interpreter. All general managers should deal with interpreters. He mentioned that at 5:30 today, there's never going to be a WNBC?
There'll be not only not a WNBC, there'll be no radio broadcasting from 30 Rockefeller Plaza. Think about that for a moment.
Is Cousin Brucie there?
Yes, he is.
Well, he's got the money. What if we rented space? Why can't we take WNBC as a call letter?
Larry, I'll tell you what. Where are you going to be tonight at 8 o'clock?
I'll be at the CNN studios.
I'll call you. All right?
We make a deal. We'll let Combs go to work first.
Well, listen.
So why can't someone use WNBC, by the way?
Well, because NBC they have not sold the rights to the call letters along with the station, and they're going to retain rights.
I thought with this FCC, which is really dumb as you are, anyone could take, there's a WJFK call letter in Washington.
I was thinking, how's it sound, WNBC, Little Rock?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, why can't a station in Little Rock take it?
Yeah. You never worked at WNBC. I know you grew up in New York, though, and certainly listened to the station, and you are so much a part of what radio is now that I wanted to have you with us. And maybe you can reflect for a moment about the history of NBC Radio and what it's meant to you growing up in
I remember when it was, what, WEAZ?
EAF.
EAF. Well, that's when I first heard it as a kid. It was WEAF, and it was the red network and the blue network, and I guess EAF was the blue network. And, NBC split off.
Right.
ABC was eventually a split off of that, wasn't it?
Right, ABC was the blue network, and this was the red network.
EAF was the red network, and it became WNBC when?
In, do we have the dates? Do we know exactly the date? It was WNBC twice, but then it became WRCA for a few years in the 50s and came back to WNBC in about 1961.
Okay, now I remember when I left to go to Miami to break into broadcasting, it was WRCA.
Right.
So I never lived with it as a citizen of New York as WNBC, but I remember it as a mainstay of the early network days of radio when we would listen for the Monday night and Tuesday night and Lux Radio Theaters and all those programs would come beaming down. Well, I always was puzzled as to what EAF meant. It was a call letter that never made sense to me. I never understood it, but it was a call letter I grew up with. And it was, it's part of my history. I think anything that goes away, especially in this case, because you got an entity going away.
Sure, this is not just another radio station changing owners. This is a corporate entity that has been the bedrock of the radio business. What do you think about the people who are talking about the demise of AM radio, and is that overstated?
Well, it might be. I think it depends on where you are. It's interesting because in Chicago, one of the hot stations is a station I'm on here, is called The Loop. And WLUP was WCFL. I mean, WCFL is a 50,000 watt, 1,000 on the dial. Mutual couldn't make a go of it. They sold it. It was a religious station. And then WLUP-FM bought it. And what the guy did was take his top personalities off the FM station, who were number 3 in the market, and put them on in drive time AM. Gave them a piece of the station, which is unheard of. And they're now the hottest station in Chicago is an AM station. And they're called The Loop. And if you say The Loop now, people think AM because they took the major personalities and put it on AM. This guy named Joe DeCastro is the general manager. So he would be an unusually creative guy. At the recent radio conference, all the discussion was that all AM will be is sports. The owner of WFAN was one of the more discouraging about AM radio. I got the impression from him. We did a panel show.
Yeah.
That he was a little sorry to get into it.
Are you discouraged about it?
No, because I think I just have it unique. I think I just have a unique place that AM radio. The one thing they all agree on that AM will do well is talk. And it's the one thing AM can do well is bring information and talk. So in every market, there will be always an all-news-talk station. So there's always a place for it. The problem is, how do you get people to come to it? Like, my daughter is going to be 21 years old. I would bet she has never heard an AM radio station.
Yeah.
Except if she listens to my show someday.
Well, hopefully
she has no idea what AM is.
Hopefully when the FCC approves one system for AM stereo, will sound as good as FM, and there'll be less disparity between the way the two bands sound. Larry, thank you for taking a few moments out to talk to us on a historic day. And
best of luck to you. Best of luck to everybody. And Brucie, I'll hear from you tonight at 8. We hire Combs. We make a go at it.
Brucie just walked out to do an interview with Roger Grimsby, but we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Good luck, Al.
Larry King, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3:37 at WNBC.
Things are getting a little tight here at Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile. We have too many 88 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs, and the 89s are pouring in. So if we don't move a lot of cars in a hurry, we won't have the room to breathe. That's why Grossi is offering the most dramatic discounts in their 16-year history. Right now, you can breathe a whole lot easier at Grossi, with savings up to $4,000 on leftover 88 Oldsmobiles and up to $5,000 on leftover 88 Cadillacs. So if things have been a little tight for you, hurry to Grossi, the largest Cadillac and Oldsmobile dealer from Fairfield County to Manhattan. You'll breathe easier with our most dramatic discounts of the year on every remaining 1988 model, plus special introductory savings on every new 1989 model now on display. Remember, for the lowest bottom line price, there's only one man to see. Grossi Cadillac and Oldsmobile in Greenwich, 53 West Putnam Avenue, off exit 3 on the Connecticut Turnpike.
Item, 4 months ago, the cost of living plummeted in Middle Village, Queens. Item, 3 months ago, the cost of living fell dramatically in Spring Valley, New York. And now in North Brunswick, New Jersey, the cost of living has reached an all-time low. Why now? What's going on? What's happened to reduce the cost of living? Simple. In each of those places, Pergament has opened up a giant new warehouse home center offering the lowest prices on everything for your home. You've got to see it to believe it. The cost of painting and finishing your house just fell because Pergament is offering leisure time spray paint in all popular colors for just $1.89 and a gallon of CWF clear wood finish for only $14.99. Nobody but nobody beats these prices. So check out our ads, check out our circulars for the guaranteed lowest prices in town. Then come in for our giant sale. You'll shop with confidence, knowing that at Pergament, you get everything for your home at the lowest prices.
Book 'em, Sarge. Another peeping Tom.
I was just looking at their Anderson windows.
Listen to this nut. Goes to the Browns' house, asks to see the Andersons.
Now you can look through the windows in some of the finest homes in the area without risking public embarrassment. Interstate and Lakeland Lumber's new Anderson Window Showroom at 31 Purdy Avenue in Portchester features full-sized architectural displays of Anderson Window's most popular models. For over 65 years, successful builders and homeowners have come to Interstate and Lakeland for the finest products and services. No wonder we've become your headquarters for Anderson, America's best-known name in quality windows. Our wide selection, competitive prices, and helpful sales staff make it easy to pick just the Anderson window you need. We even offer immediate delivery. So feel free to look through the windows in some of the area's finest homes.
Oh, sorry.
In the safety and comfort of Interstate and Lakeland Lumber's new Anderson Window Showroom at 31 Purdy Avenue in Portchester. We're your Anderson Window headquarters.
And now, add age through the ages. The year is 1758.
And you, sir, are...
Caleb Josiah Smith, town crier extraordinaire.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
That's what you need in this media game, and here's what else you need.
Ooh, advertising age.
I used to yell 7 o'clock and all's well.
Oh, no sponsor?
And no buck. Then my company ran a campaign in ad age. I said, hey, Mr. Agency Person, now's the correct time for your product to make a big noise.
And the results?
Ad age gets through to more advertising people and more of the top people in the ad community. Clients poured in.
So what do you yell now?
It's 7 o'clock and all's well at Jebediah's House of Powdered Wigs.
Much better.
Stay tuned next hour for news headlines brought to you by Cobblestones Are Up.
Well, sounds like Ad Age really did the job.
Hey, there's only one thing that can stop me now.
Ooh, what's that?
Laryngitis.
Ad Age, where advertising lives.
Paul Bunyan? You want to step to your left a couple feet? Thanks.
I guess all this street shopping really works up an appetite, huh, big guy?
Righty-o. In fact, right after I level Wisconsin here, I'm going to drop by the International House of Pancakes for breakfast.
For pancakes?
For the whole menu.
Oh.
6 or 7 of those big International House of Pancakes 3-egg omelet, dozen waffles, blintzes, crepes. You know they got more variety at breakfast than Minnesota's got lakes.
And those pancakes?
Lots of them.
So you'd recommend the International House of Pancakes for good food and lots of it?
Well, let's just say it beats the egg off one of those wimpy little fast food biscuits.
Nicely put.
Yeah.
Say, babe, how about a thick, juicy steak and eggs?
Oh, you don't want to go teasing the babe.
All right. Now get an all-American country ham and egg special, including orange juice, hash browns, their famous buttermilk pancakes, all for $3.99. Served Monday through Friday at the IHOP nearest you. The traffic is brought to us on WNBC by... Make sure I say that clearly, huh? By 9X Mobile Communications.
Hi, this is Don Cricky. Here's why you should have your mobile phone installed at a 9X installation center.
3 hours? Harry's Phones on Wheels can do it in an hour.
Sure, but we fit our mobile phones to you, not the other way around.
You mean 9X does a custom installation?
Absolutely. Look, reach out with your hand.
Yeah.
Is that where you be picking?
We make sure your antenna is mounted correctly. Put the transceiver where you want it. Tuck wiring under carpets and moldings. And hook up the power to your battery, not your fuse box, for safety and better reception. 9X gives you a custom installation and full warranty protection.
Wow. What's that thing?
Our electronic test unit simulates actual calling conditions on your mobile phone. And will give you a printout of your phone's performance.
Visit your authorized 9X dealer today and get your mobile phone custom installed at a 9X installation center. Call 1-800-443-BELL or look for us in the 9X Yellow Pages. For mobile communications, the answer is 9X.
And now here with the latest in the WNBC Traffic and Trans Network is my very good friend and colleague and a cherished companion on the air, Judy DeAngelis.
Oh, thank
thank you. If you're traveling through Queens and Brooklyn, the northbound BQE extra slow from Atlantic Avenue to the Brooklyn Bridge, and again from Flushing Avenue to the Williamsburg Bridge. It's due to a disabled tractor trailer blocking the right lane. Volume becomes sluggish once more between the Kosciuszko Bridge and the LIE. Outbound Holland Tunnel, a 10-minute delay. Outbound Lincoln Tunnel, no reported tie-ups, no reported problems either at inbound both tunnels and as well as the GWB. Outbound Queens Midtown Tunnel, about a 15-minute delay. Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, a 5 to 10-minute outbound delay. Outbound Brooklyn Bridge, extra slow across the span, and the Manhattan Bridge is heavy, but moving both ways. And we will be back in 20 minutes with more traffic and transit.
Did you hear, Judy, her last newscast on the station and the emotion?
WNBC.
The emotion, I could hear everything you were feeling.
I have holes in my tongue from where I bit on my tongue to keep from crying. That's
really?
true.
Yeah.
I mean, when you really just, get that choked up, but...
Have you get choked up about a radio station, Ted?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have, sure. Many times. I've been choked by a radio station too many times.
I don't know why. I knew it was a straight line, and Ted Brown took it and hit a home run. Ted Brown is with us. Ted is one of New York's... He is a seminal influence in New York radio. He is... one of my early heroes. I listened to you, and I used to emulate you. I used to, you did a kind of radio, and you've evolved, of course, over the years, but remember at the time you had a smile in your voice all the time, and
I remember that.
and you were so important and influential to me.
I don't know about you. Talk to most guys, and they say they worked in here, they worked that station, this station, that station. I came to New York just to visit. I had never been here. And I came walking down Broadway. I see a sign that says 1440 Broadway, WOR. Had nothing to do, and I walked up there and auditioned, and I went back to the hotel, some hotel on 8th Avenue I was staying, and they called me, and they said, "You've got the job." And so I said, "Got what?" I didn't know what he was talking. They said, "You've got the job on WOR." And I said, "Wow." And I quick turned on WOR. And I hear a guy botching up a newscast. You don't believe how bad he was. And he said, "John Gambling speaking." I said, "Goodbye, John Gambling. I'm taking your place." Do you know, this is the truth, you couldn't even say hello to John Gambling unless he gave you some kind of signal or sign that he wanted you to say hello. That's how strong that man was at OR.
Well, amazing.
And then I stayed ever since.
I was reading a book recently about Howdy Doody.
That's right.
I had do you know about his... He was Buffalo...
Buffalo Bob will be with us later.
I know, that's what reminded me.
I was Bison Bill.
He played Bison Bill for a while.
That's right. Yeah.
That must have been unbelievable.
It was crazy. It was marvelous.
Well,
fact is, I was doing a show on NBC radio. It was the #1 rated show at 12 noon. It was a quiz show. It was a show, what was it called? I forget. But anyway, it was during just before the McCarthy hearings. And it went off because preempted and never came back. But it was for Colgate. And during I'll never forget it, during one of the, take 3 of them, in a row. And after the second one, we had these girls with the sweaters and C and all that, and we're taking bows to applause. And as she was bowing, she said to me, "Of course, Bob Smith had a heart attack." I said, "Yes," applause, and they're looking for someone to take over until he gets better. I said, thank you, and I called my agent, and I went and I auditioned, and by golly, I did it for about 1.5 years as Bison Bill. It was really a crazy show.
I hope he'll be here later when we talk to Buffalo Bob.
We'll see. He's got stories unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really
Cousin Brucie is with us today. Joe McCoy, who was with the CBS FM and gave Brucie a big break when he needed one to come back to the station.
Here this poor man was sitting out there owning radio stations and not knowing how good the life was behind a microphone. And, we went out there to talk to Brucie, and we tried to talk him into doing if you can believe this, a man who probably doesn't have to work in radio, but to come to CBS FM and work every Saturday night live to do 7 to midnight. Well, he looked at me, I guess, like I was crazy. But he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll do 1 show a month for you." So I figured, okay, I'm in dire straits, 1 show a month, and I'll build around Cousin Brucie. And I think eventually what happened was Brucie got the fever. How long were you out of radio, if you will, off the air in New York when I came out?
For about 5, 6 years?
6
years, Bob Silverman and I owned radio stations, right?
He went from Marconi to Silverman.
That's right. So he was playing program director out there, national sales manager, local sales manager, and did the remotes. Right, out in Jersey.
But Joe, now you are actually in line of you are his boss.
He is.
Right. So how do you go and tell Cousin Brucie what to do?
Well, very simply, he sits in my lap.
I have a Louisville Slugger that was willed to me by Mickey Mantle, and I tell Bruce, actually, he's a very easy person to work with. Sometimes I will say things to him jokingly, and he will say, "You're really serious, aren't you?" And I will say, "Yes, I am, Bruce. The commercial is 60 seconds. It's not supposed to go 75." And
or he promised me a talk show, I said.
On the phone right now is Marv Albert. Marv Albert.
Hey, Marv.
Hi, Marv.
Thank you. So all my heroes are there, Alan. Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you with us. You were part of the conversation station. You did a sports talk show here. You were sports director of WNBC. And I don't know if I feel comfortable talking to sports people today, but you were a big part of this radio station.
Well, that was early 70s when the Knicks and the Rangers actually went from WHN. So we've gone full circle. It went from WHN to WNBC, and then, of course, it will be back at WFAN. And I hosted a nightly telephone talk show along with doing the games.
What are your special remembrances of WNBC?
Actually, my most memorable time was when the Knicks won the championship back in the 69-70 season. And because of conflicts with baseball, the fifth game of the Laker championship series, which was one of the all-time memorable games because that Willis Reed got hurt, and the Knicks went to 4 different centers against Chamberlain, and somehow with guys 6'5" and 6'4" playing at center, were able to beat the Lakers. And that game was farmed out to WHN, and rather to WNBC. And I can recall giving twice WHN station breaks on WNBC. That was it. But I tell you, the thing I remember most, because I had always been a great listener of Long John Neville, to me it was really more off the air in that I was on at night and I was able to spend a lot of time talking with Long John, who was a great man. I think I have more memories of that than anything else, over the 4 years.
Well, you mentioned the man who, more than anybody else here, was my hero and who represented to me what talk radio is all about.
Yeah, he was a fascinating guy, and it was, to me, it was a very precious time just, talking to the guy, off the air and spending so much time with him.
Was he a different man that you got to know off the air than the one that we got to know on the air?
He had that sense of mystery on the air, and he really had a great sense of humor, and he was a very, very funny guy. He was a practical joker. You would not expect that from him, and of course he had so many interests. He was so widely interested in so many areas. Just very, very...
Dreams about.
Oh, well, thanks very much. It was easy to do it for you, Alan. You're great. And this whole group is great, and I don't think there's one more person who could fit into this room, but everybody who's here belongs here, and the people out there standing by the glass belong here too. And, well, we're celebrating in a way, as Judy says.
Thank you, Peg. And then Peg is the last Vice President, General Manager of WNBC, and I'm glad to have shared a few moments with you here on the air. Mike Harrison, what's going to happen to AM radio?
Well, I think that this will be marked as a turning point, and I think it's going to make its way right back to where it belongs with exciting programming. I think this is an exciting program, and look at the lights.
We do this every day, by the way.
Look at the lights. Look at the lights on the phone. I mean, there are a lot of people out there listening to AM radio right now.
By the way, this is all just a publicity stunt. Lori Gadis put this whole thing together.
How about Alan? How about a tribute to them, to all those people flashing on the phones, and all the people listening all over the metropolitan area who are WNBC listeners.
That's a new listener, just born a moment ago.
There's the ghost of Radio Future, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to some of our phone calls, which we have neglected, not because we don't want to talk to you, because you are just about the most important part of any broadcast, especially the ones I do, but because we also wanted to pay homage to the former personalities and the present personalities here at WNBC.
A chance to be the last caller.
I wonder who the last caller is going to be.
What a great honor.
Ollie North, I hope.
Pick it at random.
WNBC, hello.
Yes, hold on just a second, Bruce, quick.
No, don't call me and put me on hold. No, that's not acceptable behavior. WNBC, hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Alan?
Yes, hi.
Hi, I'm going to miss you, Alan.
Well, I'm going to miss you.
I'm telling you, I can't believe it. I drive the truck every day up in Mount Vernon, and I gotta, I'm gonna be lost without you.
Oh, you'll find a life.
Hey, that's right. We all will be.
You get a life for yourself, sir.
You know, we ain't got them FM radios. You know,
That's a glowing tribute to this program. Thank you. Alan, I love your show. I don't have FM. Thank you very much.
We're going to miss you, bud.
Thank you very much. WNBC.
Yeah, hi, this is Eric.
Hi, Eric.
How you doing? I hope you guys bust a nut tonight and enjoy yourselves.
Beautifully said.
I hope so.
Thank you very much.
B-School listeners, everyone.
You know, in Long John's days, Sandy, that language was not used on the air, was it?
No. What was the language?
Language.
I must say that I know that the GE is relocating to the Finger Lakes, but that's another story.
WNBC.
Hello, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I just want to wish you the best, and I hope you can make something of yourself in the future.
Well, that's awfully kind of you. You sound like my mother.
Great, you really have.
Thank you. WNBC.
Alan.
Yes.
How you doing?
Hi.
I've been listening for the past 6 years now.
I can tell. 6 years they've been listening to you.
Yeah, well, I just got out of high school, and I loved your show.
Thank you.
No show that ever could compare to it. I'd like to say farewell. I wish you the best. Judy, she brought me laughter. You know, I loved her on Soupy Sales. You know, I just don't know what to say. I just wish you all the best and good luck. I'm going to miss you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, do we have to go add a delay before? Yes, we do. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes. I'll take a few. Let's see who the last caller is going to be. WNBC.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I've listened to NBC ever since I was about 12 years old. And from listening to NBC, I've grown to really appreciate the air personalities and the station itself. So much of an effect did it have on me that I went into broadcasting myself to a small degree. And radio and I have gone in different ways, but I just want to take my hat off to you personally and NBC.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. WNBC.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Just like to say NBC, goodbye. There'll never be another one like you.
That's right.
Thank you very much. WNBC.
66 years and no blacks or Puerto Ricans at the final gathering. You suck out.
Thank you very much. It's good to know. It's good to know that we haven't lost it, ladies and gentlemen. This wouldn't be a regular Alan Colmes show without a call like that.
Your accountant.
WNBC.
Hi, Alan.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm one of your recent listeners, and I'm really sorry to see the station go. I want to ask Judy something.
Go ahead.
Judy, are you going to be able
Judy, pull yourself together.
Come on, babe.
Yeah, go ahead. We're running out of time here.
Judy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious if you're going to have a position in any other radio station.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be horizontal.
Okay, I hope everything will work out.
A woman can cry and crack jokes at the same time. It's unbelievable. Thank you. WNBC.
Alan, I'm sitting here in my NBC T-shirt on my Oriental rug that I won on your show, and I wanted to say I love you and goodbye.
Well, because you are a winner of WNBC. You didn't win WNBC. No one did.
No one cares.
But you're going to be our last call. You are our last phone call on WNBC.
What's her name?
What is your name?
Get her name.
What is your name? Pardon me?
My name is Caroline.
Caroline who?
And I won tickets to Caroline's also.
Okay, thank you, Caroline.
Bye.
Thank you. Let me just say a few final words, and we're all going to count down to the end of NBC. WNBC Radio, that is. You know, when I first broadcast on this station, it was a realization of a lifelong dream. But I never imagined during my first moments on WNBC that the last seconds I would have on the station would be the last seconds anybody would have. It's a historic moment that belongs not just to me, but also to every broadcaster who ever graced the microphones, every worker at WNBC who made this station great, and to each listener who supported us through the years. I'm Alan Colmes. Thank you. God bless you. And for the last time, this is 66 WNBC, New York. Let's do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You heard the countdown. It's over.
Radio 66, WFAN, New York. Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
And there came to pass a great change on the landscape, and the numbers 1050 shone, then faded into time, and there grew in their place the numbers 660. Imus saw and said, "It is good." Then there also grew at 660 the letters WFAN. Imus saw and said, "It is good." A courier appeared, Jeff by name, and beckoned Imus to Imus. And Imus saw and saith, "We'll cross our fingers." And the courier brought forth a candle to illuminate the way and proffered it to Imus. Imus saw and said, "No, you idiot, I said a Bud Light."
I don't care if the rain don't freeze as long as I got my plastic Jesus right on the dashboard of my car. I can go 100 miles an hour as long as I got the almighty power. Put up there by my pair of fuzzy eyes.
Say hallelujah! Yeah, say hallelujah! Hi, fans. It's Dr. Billy Saul Harkis, late of WNBC, joining you here this evening to announce the conversion has taken place. I'm a Jew. That's right. The right Rabbi Saul Harkis. Ain't no moss growing under these feet. The minute I heard the name of this outfit we'd be working for was Imus, the Hebrew word for truth, I said, throw me one of them Yamahas, pass me a lineup sheet, and call me Izzy. This frequency juggling's made me dizzy. Praise the wee one, spinning in his cradle with his eyes bugging out, saying, "I'll air condition the first mother who calls up wanting to know, what about the Rangers' left wing?" Praise God. Yes, dearly beloved, the finest broadcast company the world has ever known now controls our destiny. And so, Shalom Orve, I now bestow my blessing on this new enterprise. Because 17 years we worked for those other mountains of slaving, and what do we have to show for it? Schnee Butkus. And so we go from the home of the hits to the home of the hits, runs and errors. It sucks. But what are you going to do? What any sports fan or sports figure's going to do. Scratch your ass and pick your crotch. This all sports format's a damn death watch. But we're trading in our cross from the big boss man for one of them stars of Jerusalem. Imus is Hebrew, so we're moving out of Dixie. This was once 1050, but for you, 660. Say hallelujah, say amen.
Imus in the morning, Sports Radio 66, WFAN. Ba-ba-do-ba-do-do more, ba-ba. From door to door, more. The Pan Am Shuttle, more. Give the business traveler.
More time saved on a business trip means more time for you. So the Pan Am Shuttle has more great ways for you to save time than the other shuttle. For starters, our Marine Air Terminal at LaGuardia is 1 1/4 miles closer to Manhattan than the other shuttle's terminal. How much time will that save? Think about 1 1/4 miles of LaGuardia traffic at rush hour. Need more time? Try our exclusive water shuttle between LaGuardia and Wall Street or East 34th Street. Complimentary newspapers and magazines on the ground. Snacks and beverages in the air. More to make you choose the Pan Am Shuttle between New York and Boston or Washington. Every hour on the half hour, the Pan Am Shuttle makes it easier on you.
And now back to the nation's #1 radio sports show. Pete Franklin on Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, thank you very much. Pete Franklin from the parking lot at Shea Stadium before the championship game. And we are now 66 Radio. All right, we are 66 Radio. There's all kinds of excitement and all kinds of distraction. The television cameras are on and all kinds of people are here. And champagne is being passed around. Everyone is getting bombed. Franklin is not getting bombed. Yes, thank you. I'll have a glass of champagne, thank you. All right, Steve Sloan has just handed me some. And so for the first time in my career, I will drink while I'm on the air. I will drink while I'm on the air. Good. And, folks, it is a very exciting moment, and those of us in the broadcasting business are very, very excited about it, obviously. But let us not forget that the big story tonight is the New York Mets. Let us not forget that. The Mets in action tonight against the Dodgers. The rain continues to fall, but it is a soft falling rain. It is cold, it is damp, obviously, outside.
I hate to waste your time talking about the jerk. That's a trivia question. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Who's the biggest jerk you know in New York?
The biggest jerk is the scumbag from Florida.
You got it.
George Steinbrenner, but he ain't here. He ain't here.
Can I send him a message?
No, don't send no message. The Mets are playing, and Don is here, and I am here. And don't be rude. Don't be rude. Don't be rude, for crying out loud. Don't be rude. Don't ignore my guest. Don't ignore my guest. Don't be rude.
All right, well, maybe you and Don would both like to join in this message.
Pete, maybe you want to take it down a couple notches. Maybe the veins are popping out of your head.
Nah. This is the way I ordinarily talk. I'm just warming up here. Now, don't be rude. Now, talk to Don and I. We don't want to talk about the Scuzz.
I'd like to just laugh at him.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to just laugh at him.
Sir, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Rockland County.
Uh-huh. Now, are there like attendants near where you are?
Are there what?
Attendants.
Oh, yeah. Right up the road.
You got guys in white coats with a stethoscope?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay, well, why don't you just go back to your room and take your medicine, and we'll call you back, okay?
All right, listen.
You're laughing because it's the truth, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I admit it. Pete, I talked to you once before, and I said you were flat and you were flaky,
Sure,
and I'm glad there was more than one of us in the world.
Now, tell me, how often do you see the doctor?
Oh, as often as possible.
That's good. Have you had your lithium for today?
No, Mike won't be needing that anymore.
Okay, all right. We're glad that you called because you really enlivened the whole day for us.
Well, I think he probably was dialing the suicide hotline and got us.
I usually
Here's
agree
my
with you
advice,
on-
sir. Just go ahead and do it.
Do it,
Come on,
that's
please.
it. Free the world.
Jump.
Jump, right. Or still better, use a bullet.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's it. All right. No, we're really saying that to you because we mean it.
I don't know. I didn't think you two guys were going to be able to get along, but
we're going to get along. We're both
be working out fine.
We're both ripping off Imus. I mean, it's their problem, not ours.
Pete, I really wish you'd speak for yourself in that regard.
You know, I mean, what do we got to worry about? The management's got to come up with a check every week or two, and if they don't, they're in trouble, right?
Right.
We'll show them the pictures that Don has got in his room that he's been working on for months. I hope you got the pictures of Jeff at that weekend in Terre Haute.
Mr. Smullian said that he loved the chicken, so we had to take his word for it.
All right,
Pete.
Yes.
All right, I'd just like to say I usually agree with everything you say.
Oh, that gets no. Yes.
When you said that Steinbrenner was going to steal the Mets thunder, he's not going to steal anything.
Right.
If anything, he just made more people laugh at him.
All right, fine, all right.
Did something happen with Lou Pinella that I don't know anything about?
Lou Pinella got the Martin Luther King Award today.
I don't understand. I mean, was he fired today?
Oh, yes, he was.
Oh, he was.
Fired.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. Well, he was fired officially today. You know, they're having a press conference. George was told by the commissioner not to do this during the playoffs of the World Series. So he waited till tonight, the opening of the New York Met thing, and had his press conference and appointed Dallas Green to run the show for a few weeks till Billy Martin comes back, you know. Billy right now is out learning how to build a wall or something.
I like Billy Martin.
Why would you like Billy Martin?
I don't know. I think he's a great manager. I think he's colorful. He's an attractive man.
All right. But, John, you get up early in the morning, and you got a problem, and you know what that problem is. And if you like Billy Martin, you really got a serious problem. But I'm not going to deal with you in sports, Don. You got enough to worry about, for crying out loud, coming over to Queens. Are you there, caller, or have you mercifully left? It's gone. Thank God. All right. Now, what do? We take another caller. Oh, fine. Got to have guys produce this garbage. Hello, hello, hello. You're on Fan Radio with all the fannies out there listening. These are your listeners, Don, and now fannies from now on.
Hey.
Yes. This is Fanny Radio. Imus in the morning. He's on in the afternoon, only because it's raining and because he had to come down here. All right, go ahead, please.
Pete, this is Mike from Asbury.
Oh, Mike! Hey, this is Mike from Asbury.
First-time caller.
What kind of caller?
First time.
Wait a minute, let me get the bell. Here, you got the bell. You get the bell. This
You got
guy's
the bell?
going for
No
Asbury.
NBC time this time? Just the bell, huh?
All right, this is from Asbury. Could you hear us on the old 1050 like you can now on the 660?
I can hear you a lot better.
A lot better.
A couple questions about the Mets, or a couple statements, first of all.
Well, why don't you make... aren't you thrilled that Don Imus is joining All Sports Radio? How do you feel about that?
Don Imus on All Sports Radio?
Yes, the man is with incisive wisdom and insight into sports. Yes.
What does Don know about sports, though?
Tell him. Don, tell him.
Here's what I want to happen, sir. I want, when you go home this evening, are you at home now?
Yeah, I'm home now.
Is your wife home?
Yeah, she's home.
Oh.
Honey, you want to say hello?
No. What I want to happen, I want you to go in the bedroom, and I want you to find your wife in the sack with Oprah Winfrey.
Just go into the bedroom and find my wife.
And I want them both to be smiling.
Will you be there or what?
Oprah Winfrey. This is before the diet, right?
This is your guest. You talk to this clown.
This is not my guest. This is some perverted caller from Asbury Park. I don't know. What are we going to do, the traffic now? All right, here's Dennis O'Mara. Get us out of here and do the traffic in the sack with Oprah Winfrey. Come on, Don.
All right, Pete and Don, and the traffic is very heavy inbound and outbound. The Grand Central, still one major jam. The big outbound delay is from the Triborough to Shea Stadium. Obviously, all the fans are on their way inbound. The Van Wyck is slow as you go up to the LIE and through Shea Stadium. The Whitestone Bridge has been a washout all afternoon since around 4 o'clock. Heading Queensbound, Throgs Neck, not much better for you right now. And to compound the problems for the rail riders, the Queensbound F trains are on the A line right now from J Street through West 4th Street. They've got some police activity north of Delancey. Earlier problems on the LIRR taken care of. I'm Dennis O'Mara for Sports Radio 66 WFAN Shadow Traffic.
I'm coming home to Channel 9. I'm going to be reporting on the sports that I used to watch as a kid. It's real exciting to me. It's dream come true. Does that sound hokey? That's what it is.
Meet Russ Salzberg, the new sports anchor on the Channel 9 News.
I don't like to depend upon wire copy and the newspaper for my information. I like to go out and try and get the information myself. I found athletes trust the guy and they don't mind the criticism if they see the face.
Russ Salzberg. You might not know him now, but you will.
Most people who are interested in sports, their number one wish would be able to be that professional athlete. The next best job in the world is the sportscaster because he gets to rub elbows with those guys. So I got the second best job in the world. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm going to make sure I have fun doing it.
Russ Salzberg, the sports fan with the second best job in the world. Weeknights at 10 on the Channel 9 News.
Radio built for the New York sports fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All righty, we're right back in the parking lot at Shea Stadium. We're 66 Sports Radio. We have switched, and in about 5 minutes, we're going to spring a very exciting concept that we think the fans are going to dig, really, really dig. The Mets tonight, let us not forget it. The big story is still, without question, the Mets and the Dodgers. Game 3, John Tudor scheduled to pitch. John Tudor with a lousy, rotten, hurting hip. Man should not be out in the cold weather tonight, definitely. And, of course, Ron Darling, who loves this kind of weather out here. New Yorkers who are used to this. We're used to this hardy weather. Californians can't take it. They're not used to this. New Yorkers are used to this. They really are. And we're going to have all the excitement on Fan Radio tonight with Game 3. Now, we want to remind you, Game 4 tomorrow is practically the crack of dawn. It really isn't the crack of dawn, but it's a high noon affair. And they will be getting things underway very early tomorrow. Howie Rose will be joining us here a bit later on at about 6:30 for the Mets Extra, and then I'm going to go in and gouge myself like a pig and watch the game and scream my butt off tonight. All righty, you're on Sports Radio 66, Fabulous Franklin. Again, our thanks to Don Imus. I guess Don's gone, right? Don's gone. All right.
Say goodbye.
He didn't even say goodbye. Hey, what the hell is this here? The man just vanished. Oh, it's all right. That's it. He's out scrounging for a ticket, hustling for a ticket. All right, all right. Don's, I don't know why he wants to go to the game. I mean, the man don't know nothing about sports. Everything like that. He didn't even say goodbye. He's out scrounging for a ticket. You took his seat, for crying out loud. Did you come up with a ticket? I mean, anyone give you a ticket, Don?
I thought talking to Dominic Fioravanti, who used to be the general manager of WNBC a number of years ago, and now is with Shadow Traffic.
I see. I thought he was out there in the parking lot selling tickets.
No, he's a great guy.
He is a great guy. Unemployed or employed?
No, he's a big wheel at Shadow Traffic.
Oh, really? You're serious? He's in Shadow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a steadier job than broadcasting. All right. Let's continue along with this cockamamie thing for a few more minutes. So let's take another call and see if the caller has anything to say to add to this show.
So this essentially what you do now is you don't play any records or anything?
Oh, no. I don't play any records. You play records?
Yeah.
What kind of records do you play?
Well,
seriously.
It just depends on what the record company sends over, Pete. But let's not get into that here on the air, okay?
I see. You always take cash, of course.
But you just take calls, just like one call after another?
I take calls, right. Okay. I don't care who they are. I'm not prejudiced. I'll insult them all.
It's been good so far.
It's been very, very good so far. I haven't worked in years, you know. All right, let's go to our next caller, and welcome to this program, whatever this program is, in the rain in the parking lot. Hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. Don Imus is with me. You know Don Imus?
Well, I've never met him personally, but I've heard him.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good.
She didn't give her name. What is your name?
Sorry, my name is Jerry.
Jerry. Is that Geraldine?
No, please, I hate Geraldine.
I didn't know you hated Geraldine, otherwise I wouldn't have asked. What is your real name that has forced you to call yourself Jerry? Because you weren't born with the name of Jerry, obviously.
Yes, I was.
You were born Jerry.
That's my real name.
I have never met a broad by the name of Jerry. Have you, Don?
No, I haven't, Pete.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Other than Joey Heatherton. Yeah.
Joey Heatherton, yes. Joey Heatherton. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I just have two questions to ask.
Go ahead, Geraldine.
One, I'll only accept that by you.
Thank you.
Do you think Keith Hernandez will play tonight? I mean, with the weather and everything and his hamstring pull.
Don, answer right up.
The Prince of Darkness, will he play tonight?
Yes.
We don't know. He probably will.
All right, you hear what Don said? He probably will, Don. That took years of training and study, and for that we get paid.
Is this game going to be rained out, Pete?
No, it's not going to be rained out, and there's no way because the networks are standing by, and they've got a lot of underarm deodorant commercials to run. All right, Don, you want to hang around with me till 6:30, or are you getting the hell out of here?
I would really rather not, but if I have to, I'm
getting the hell out of here.
I'm going to leave. It's been great. I'll see you Monday morning at 5:30.
No, you won't, but it's been your pleasure. I know what you mean. All right, Don is on here, 66, and Don looks good. He's got his blue jeans on, and I'm getting out of here. All right, thanks.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Fighting wrongs and fighting evil wherever it reared its ugly head. A man with something extra. A man born with the sign of the 3. A man they called Tres Huevos.
Out of the night comes a brightening sight. It's a man they call Tres Huevos. Tres Huevos. And he walks with a crouch, for so big is his pouch. That's why they call the man Tres Huevos. Tres Huevos. It's not just the size of his weenie. Tres Huevos. 3 olives float in his martini.
The legend of Tres Huevos. The Lost Episodes, Chapter 10, Breaking Balls. When we last left our hero, he was poised on the banks of the Rio Este, about to cross the bridge at Cincuenta Nueve. He knows that El Maricon, the man who murdered his mother and raped his father, is on the other side, holed up in the basement of a warehouse in Las Reinas. With his faithful sidekick Gordo and his trusty horse Negrito by his side, Tres Huevos prepares to cross the bridge and come face to face with his destiny.
You know, I hope this doesn't take too long. I just want to get over there, kill El Maricon, and get the hell back.
And then your quest will be over.
And then you can disappear into the sunset, fulfilled and vilified. No, and then I can get rid of you two morons, get you off my back, and back to Central Casting where you belong.
Oh, what will you do then, Senor Huevo? Up in that bowling alley? You already have the ball.
You know I hate you, fatso, and I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to shoot the gay caballero, and I'm going to shoot you. And I'm going to shoot this fucking horse.
Hey, yo, come on. I don't got all freaking day here.
Hey, wait a minute. Who are you?
Salmonella, the toll collector fella.
God.
Come on, fork up. $2. Make it snappy. This is an exact change lane.
Wait a minute. $2. Isn't that a little steep?
Yo, steep this. Come on, I get off in 5 minutes.
Well, wait a minute. I don't have any money.
Well, then I suggest you start swimming or go downtown and take the freaking tunnel.
Now, see, you don't understand. I'm the man they call
Trace Huevos.
Yeah, right, and I'm Claire Schulman.
Oh, no, look, I got to find El Monaco and the Gay Caballero, and, what's the matter?
Caballero.
What?
Caballero. Say Caballero.
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 Forget the L's.
17 years in radio. Caballero.
I can't fix that. Forget the L's, make it a Y.
Yeah,
Caballero. Caballero.
Go ahead.
All right, let me try it again.
Yeah, all right.
Look, I got to find El Monaco and the Gay Caballero.
Good.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Close enough.
And then I don't have time to stand around here and learn how to say this and talk to some gavone from Queens.
Hey, I ain't from Queens. I'm from a little village due south from here, Los Brooklyn. Not for nothing, but how can I be sure you're Trace Huevos?
Oh, hey, well, look at this.
Jeez, that's a freaking beauty.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to meet you, pal.
I bet.
Look, just hang a Louis over the bridge, go down a couple of blocks, and take a right at George's Souvlaki stand. That faggot you're looking for is over there right now.
Thanks a lot.
Shut up. Not for nothing, but do you get those slacks made special?
And so, Trace Huevos crosses the bridge into the unknown. Will he be triumphant? Will he find what he's looking for on the other side of the river? You bet your ass. But not until we've milked another couple hundred episodes of this premise. Tune in again next time when we hear our hero say, we're not going to do a couple hundred episodes of this. I'm telling you that now. Just take that to the bank, Rob.
Just say Caballero.
I can't say it. We're not doing it.
Imus in the morning, Sports Radio 66 WNBC.
That's coming up at 9:58, 2 minutes till 10 in FAN weather. Sunshine and warm today, high near 60, clear and cool tonight, low 50, clear and 39 now in New York.
Don't you hate sayings that make no sense but pass for wisdom? The more things change, the more they stay the same, is one that's bothered me for years. The field across from my house that used to be home to twittering birds is now an ugly subdivision. The only thing that stayed the same is it's still across the street. The truth is, when things change...